California High-Speed Rail project. Each time when we mention this project, our first association is Don Quixote and his battle against windmills. In case there's still someone who wonders why, it is because the US could easily have such a system, not just in California but across various states, if only there was a will and a consensus among American society. For our long-time viewers, you might recall that we already made a comprehensive overview of the California HSR back in January 2021. If you haven't watched it yet, you should definitely give it a chance, as it will help you to better understand the background story, and also, according to the comments we received, it is indeed one of the best non-biased videos about this project. Now, 3.5 years later, we're here to provide an exciting update and see what has changed in the meantime. But before we dive into the updates, we want to introduce you to today's video sponsor, Harting Technology Group. Harting, a family-owned German company, is still a global leader in connectivity solutions for industrial technology and was so since 1945. Their expertise in data, signals and power earned the trust of railway operators and manufacturers worldwide. Harting meets the unique demands of the railway industry with state-of-the-art connectors, cables and network components. Their renowned Han connectors and high-performance cables ensure smooth operation from rolling stock to trackside applications. Beyond connectivity, Harting drives railway technology forward, supporting advanced train control systems, passenger information systems, and onboard equipment for enhanced safety and efficiency. To learn more about Harting, find them at the InnoTrans Fair in Berlin from September 24th to 27th in Hall 12 at stand 310. Check the first link in the description to learn more about the company, and don't miss incredible opportunity to use the second link provided by Harting to obtain a free ticket. Also, don't forget to visit Harting at InnoTrans Fair at Hall 12 stand 310. Now let's get back to the California High-Speed Rail project. The California High-Speed Rail project is essentially divided into two phases. Phase 1, covering a 494-mile section from San Francisco to Merced to Los Angeles Anaheim, which was approved by California voters in Proposition 1A during 2008, and Phase 2, which includes future extensions from Merced to Sacramento and from Los Angeles to San Diego, adding an additional 280 miles. The good news is that there has been a notable progress. Huge milestone is achieved in June this year when the continuous stretch between downtown San Francisco and downtown Los Angeles was environmentally cleared in accordance with federal procedures. Just to underline, an environmental clearance is a precondition to obtaining necessary permits and approvals required to begin design phase, as the findings from the environmental review may influence design elements. For the sections that were environmentally cleared in previous years, construction is advancing, albeit with some humor, as it seems to be progressing quote-unquote from nowhere to nowhere. Specifically, the California High-Speed Rail Authority, which for the purposes of this video we will be calling the Authority, decided to start construction in the Central Valley on the first section from Fresno to Bakersfield, spanning 171 miles. This segment comprises 3 active construction packages, 2 segments of advanced design, and 5 stations under design and development. Believe it or not, on this section, all major commercial issues have been resolved, resulting in a complete project definition and scope. Noteworthy achievements include the completion of 17 structures across the 3 active construction segments. There has also been significant improvement in right-of-way planning and management, surpassing delivery forecasts with 98% of parcels delivered to the design builder. This new process has proven highly effective, leading to substantial improvements in acquisition and schedule. Today, 98% of the parcels needed for the project have been successfully delivered to the design builder. As you can see on the screen, the figure provides 2023 percentages for each construction package, covering design, right-of-way, utility relocation, structures completed, miles of guideway, and overall contract completion. Extending the rail line into downtown Merced and Bakersfield will significantly enhance access to other transportation services, benefiting businesses, educational institutions, medical centers, and residents beyond the region. With the release of several procurement packages, the authority is on track to deliver passenger rail service between 2030 and 2033. While in our earlier videos we projected the Central Valley construction to be completed by 2028, the work is now delayed by a maximum of 5 years. This remains an ambitious schedule, highly dependent on securing full funding, with considerable work still ahead. These packages include Track and Overhead Contact System or OCS Package 1, Systems Package 2, and Trainsets Package 3. For Package 1, the authority has initiated the design procurement for the track and overhead contact systems necessary to electrify the trains. This contract includes designing the entire track network encompassing not only the train tracks and OCS, but also a long track cable containment across track ducts, access walkways, fencing, and drainage systems. The placement of the tracks and the accompanying OCS foundation and poles marks a significant milestone. The contractor procurement for building and installing the track and OCS is expected to be issued this year. Scheduled for 2024, Package 2 will focus on systems design and installation. This includes signaling, train control, core communications, traction power systems, solar and battery storage, supervisory control, data acquisitions, solar photovoltaic, and battery electric storage systems. This single contract involves the progressive delivery of technical complex elements for the 119-mile segment currently under construction, with options to complete extensions into Merced and Bakersfield. For Package 3, the authority is in the process of procuring 6 electric train sets designed for operating speeds of up to 220 miles per hour. The first 2 train sets are expected to be delivered in 2028 for testing and trial runs, with the remaining 4 scheduled for delivery by the end of 2030. 2 companies were shortlisted for supplying the trains, Alstom Transportation and Siemens Mobility. We want to point out that both companies are partners of Harting and utilize their products in the development of their trains, ensuring reliable connectivity and performance. This only highlights the quality of the products and systems that Harting develops, showcasing their commitment to excellence in the railway industry. There have also been advancements in management strategies. The authority has outlined a business model for interim service in the Merced to Bakersfield corridor, following an infrastructure owner approach. Under this model, the capital infrastructure would be leased to a separate public entity to provide passenger service. Part of these discussions involves detailing and evaluating the concept of establishing a so-called universal operator under the management of the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority to operate a set of integrated rail services. Completing construction in the Central Valley and linking it to Northern California is a pivotal step for the high-speed rail program success. The Northern California project section spans 159 miles from downtown San Francisco to Merced in the Central Valley. Environmental clearance work in Northern California is now complete, positioning the region to advance design work as soon as funding becomes available. The authority is vigorously seeking the necessary funding to advance the system's design in Northern California and undertake essential geotechnical investigations in the Pacheco Pass, critical for connecting to the Central Valley. This year, the authority plans to take the next steps to commence work as soon as funding is secured. However, the projected completion of the design phase has been delayed to 2028, with construction contracts expected to follow. This means the entire phase is running significantly behind schedule, as the original plan anticipated completion by 2033. Work is underway on critical infrastructure projects to integrate high-speed rail with existing transit networks. Caltrain is testing its EMUs in anticipation of starting electrified service along its 51-mile corridor in 2024. The authority has contributed over $700 million towards electrifying the Caltrain corridor. High-speed trains will utilize this infrastructure as part of the blended system when service begins on the San Francisco Peninsula. We need to highlight that Caltrain's electrification project is historic, marking the first major transition in North America from diesel trains to an electrified system in a generation. The authority is also engaging with Union Pacific Railroad to use and upgrade the existing rail corridor between San Jose and Gilroy. Plans for this corridor include adding electrified passenger rail tracks for both high-speed rail and Caltrain service, while maintaining and enhancing the freight infrastructure for Union Pacific. In 2024, the authority continues to work with Union Pacific to finalize the necessary agreements for corridor use. Turning our focus to Southern California. The high-speed rail project covers a 164-mile stretch from Bakersfield to Anaheim. Environmental progress in this region is substantial, with 56% already cleared. Recent advancements include funding for key early investment projects, achieving environmental clearance milestones, and progressing on grade separation projects to enhance safety and traffic flow. The ongoing collaboration with cities like Palmdale for integrated station planning is particularly notable. The Palmdale to Burbank project section will feature an entirely new rail line, primarily built in tunnels, enabling trips between Palmdale and Burbank Airport in as little as 13 minutes. This new route will open up opportunities for economic development and provide connections to numerous destinations and transportation and housing options. Regional plans also include potential high-speed rail connections to Brightline West via the High Desert Corridor route from Palmdale to Apple Valley, eventually extending to Las Vegas. Finally, the segment between Los Angeles and Anaheim is crucial for completing the full 494-mile environmental review for Phase 1, anticipated to be complete by the end of 2025. As you can see, there's significant progress and a strong initiative to complete this project within the next decade. However, it's important to acknowledge the challenges. Voters who supported this project in 2008, some of whom were around 30 years old at the time, may only get to ride the first high-speed trains when they're nearly 60. And even then, it's a big maybe. The estimated cost of Phase 1 was around $80 billion 3 years ago. Today, that estimate has surged to $106 billion, with high-end projections reaching $128 billion. Phase 2 remains off the radar for now. Currently, the authority has secured $17 billion in funding. Despite the largest show of support to date from the Biden-Harris administration, which awarded the authority a record $3.1 billion in December 2023, this falls short of the authority's $8 billion target in new federal grants. For high-speed rail to reach the level of development seen in other economically advanced countries, a permanent and stable federal funding commitment is essential. Drawing a parallel with President Eisenhower's National Interstate Defense Highway Act of 1956, which created a lasting commitment to roadway infrastructure, the authority is advocating for a similar commitment to high-speed rail. A promised National Defense Act for global warming could prioritize high-speed rail, aligning it with current environmental and infrastructural goals. As highlighted in our video 3 years ago, funding is not the issue. For context, the US Department of Defense reported total military expenditures in Afghanistan from October 2001 to September 2019 at $778 billion. More recently, since the start of Israel's war with Hamas on October 7, 2023, the United States has provided Israel at least $12.5 billion in military aid. Similarly, since the Ukrainian-Russian war began, the US Congress has approved $107 billion in aid to Ukraine. Both aids combined is equal to the total investment value of California HSR. So, these figures illustrate the potential for significant investment in infrastructure projects like high-speed rail, if only that's the priority for federal government. In conclusion, if the federal government decided to employ its construction industry engineers and demonstrate its citizens that it can provide clean, eco-friendly mass transit, it would do so. For now, we'll have plenty of material to produce project updates on this topic for the next 15 years. So stay tuned for more updates and make sure to subscribe. Also hit the bell button and consider supporting us through Patreon or by becoming a member of our community. Every bit of support means a lot in producing such videos. Thank you again for watching and see you next time.